Wake up, everyone. A Major League Baseball game was played.
You are Locked On MLB, your daily MLB podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good morning, baseball fans, and welcome to Locked On MLB, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. This is the daily podcast. We talk about all of Major League Baseball. I am your host, Paul Francis Sullivan. If you don't believe me, then how could I have a lower third where I'm called Sully? I am a baseball podcaster. I've been doing it for over a dozen years now. I've done a bunch of other things, but I love baseball podcasting, and it is official. I am now in my sixth full regular season here at the Locked On Podcast Network. You can follow us at Locked On MLB Pods on Twitter or on Instagram. I'm your pal Sully. I'm at Sully Baseball on Twitter or whatever it's called now, Sully Baseball Podcast on Instagram. And if you want to leave a comment in any of those social media places, then guess what? Put that hashtag where it says Everyday Sully. And that way we know who's following us every single day. It is March 20th, 2024. Yes, I know I recorded an episode last night, and I also did the In Memoriam video. I have a note to have about the In Memoriam video to sort of cleanse my soul. But I decided, why not have you guys wake up to another episode of this show? Because how often do I get a chance to talk about regular season baseball? I haven't been able to do it all year. The Soul Series began at about 3 o'clock in the morning Pacific Daylight Time, which your pal Sully is in. That means about 6 a.m. if you're on the East Coast, and perfect timing if you're in Seoul, Korea. And, well, the Dodgers' magic number has been reduced to 162. And there's a couple of things I wondered if you got on your bingo card regarding this particular game that was played. But before we do anything, let's do the trivia question. Trivia question was, what team was the last team to start the season in an overseas series, like in Tokyo or in Australia or in Seoul, to go on to the postseason? And Scott Horsemeyer got it correct. The answer, believe it or not, is Oakland. Oakland was the last team to make the postseason while beginning the season overseas. And that happened when the A's, when they played Tampa Bay in 2019. By the way, both of them made the postseason. Tampa Bay and Oakland both made, no, I'm sorry. Oakland played Seattle in the Tokyo Dome. And there was something cool about that because Ichiro joined the team and retired in Tokyo. If you look officially, Ichiro played 2 games in 2019 for the Seattle Mariners, but he actually played them in Tokyo. He went to Tokyo, retired as a Mariner in Tokyo. It was kind of a combination of all the worlds. And they played Oakland, and Oakland went on to lose the wild card game against Tampa Bay. I often wonder what would have happened if Oakland won that wild card game. Oh, there's a lot of things I wonder what would happen. I wonder if Marcus Semien didn't absolutely trounce the A's in the 2021 regular season when the A's were trying to fight for a playoff spot. A lot of things. But yeah, well, you don't think about Oakland as a recent playoff team, but they were in the postseason as recently as the COVID year, and they were a contender as recently as 2021. Things change. A lot of things change. We were this close to having an ALCS in 2020 in the COVID year between Tampa Bay and Oakland. I remember, I think I said on this very podcast at that point, the winner gets a new stadium. That would make sense to me. But Scott Horsemeyer did get right. Oakland in the Seattle against Seattle in the Tokyo Dome. It's early. It's not 7 o'clock in the morning yet, and I didn't get a heck of a lot of sleep last night. But yeah, a baseball game was played. A real life counting in the standings baseball game was played, and there were some interesting things in the game. First of all, on your bingo card, did you have ball going through a first baseman's glove, going through the glove at a critical juncture before you had an extra base hit this season. Well, that's what we got. When a critical moment of the game, a ball went right through the first baseman, who was it, Cronenworth's glove of San Diego. Remember the pot? Remember, you probably didn't know. The Padres took a 2-1 lead in the fourth inning, and the Dodgers did not cash in on a lot of their scoring opportunities. Xander Bogaerts, who got a couple of hits, he got a RBI single in the third inning. There was another RBI. It was a double play where Mookie Betts, the new shortstop for the Dodgers, made the play that scored one of the runs for San Diego. And that made the game 2-1, and it remained 2-1. There was a lot of opportunities that the Dodgers had that they just could not drive in the runs. And if I was watching the game, I probably would have said, "Oh wow, this is going to be one of those games." But then the ball went through Cronenworth's glove. Gavin Lux got the hit, and I guess it goes as an error. That's a rough error. The error should be on the manufacturer of that glove. I don't know what brand of glove he has, but this was the worst ever advertisement for whatever brand of gloves he had. That made it 3-2 Los Angeles. Mookie Betts drove in another run, make it 4-2, and Shohei Ohtani, who was picked off, it would double up at one point, but he drove in the final run that made it 5-2. The pitching line for San Diego looked a hell of a lot like it was still a spring training game. Darvish pitched into the fourth, obviously a quality start. And then it was just a parade. Cosgrove, De Los Santos, Matsui, no, not that Matsui. Uh, uh, Peralta, Brito, Morjan, and Estrada. Johnny Brito, who came over in the Juan Soto trade, got credited with the loss or saddled with the loss. He let up one earned run and one unearned run, thanks to the ball through Cronenworth's glove, and got the tough luck loss on that. The Dodgers had slightly more of a normal pitching line. Tyler Glasnow pitched 5, which is pretty much what you would expect in opening day. You're not going to have someone go 9 innings in the opening day. No one goes 9 innings anymore anyway. But you had Glasnow pitched okay. I mean, he let up 2 hits. He let up 4 walks. That's not great in 4 innings. Only allowed the 2 runs. And then Brazier, Hudson, Kelly, Phillips. A lot of members of the 2018 Red Sox played in this game. You had Mookie Betts played in this game. You had Brazier played in this game. You had Joe Kelly played in this game. You had Xander Bogaerts play in this game. If you're a fan of the 2018 Red Sox, let me tell you something. You should have flown to Seoul. But now, the Dodgers wound up getting the win, and their dreams of a perfect season are afloat. The magic number is 162. Any combination of Dodger victories and whatever second place team is in the West that equal losses that equal 162 will indeed clinch the 2024 National League West title for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And of course, this game counts. The game they're going to play tomorrow counts. And then they go back to spring training. And again, I have more than a slight issue on that. I have a huge issue on that. But alas, we got games. Slightly anticlimactic that the Shohei Ohtani era begins in this manner. It's kind of like, do you remember where the A-Rod era began for the New York Yankees? That began in the Tokyo Dome. A-Rod's first game with the Yankees was in Japan. And again, I think these series are cool. I think they should have them in the middle of the season because there is a sort of, I don't want to say monotony because I love baseball, but there's a rhythm. That's one of the reasons why I liked it when interleague games were only in the middle of the season, because there was that stretch of times that, all right, we're going to switch up who we play. And maybe you have, all right, right in the middle, we switch up who's going to, what's going to happen. And maybe do that instead of an all-star game. How am I wrong that starting the season with an all-star game would be a better method than this? Well, when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the teams that haven't started their season, which is, well, everybody else. And we'll talk a little bit about how to maybe, just maybe, think about a new way to address our situation of pitching, which is bordering on an epidemic. It's a bad word to use these days. It's time to hear from our friends at Ibotta. We haven't heard from Ibotta for a little bit. Let's see what they have to say. Ibotta addresses what you are spending. Now, are you trying to save money? Are you trying to find ways to put a little bit of extra cash in your pocket? If you're trying to watch what you're doing and not spend money on things you don't need, and at the end of the month, you're not there going, oh God, do I have enough to pay the cable bill? Yeah, I still say cable bill. Ibotta, it's the way to do it. By using Ibotta to, I don't know, make some of the purchases that you need. Ibotta is a free app that gives you the most cash back every time you shop on hundreds of items, from groceries to beauty supplies to toys. You can make sure you're beating inflation no matter what you're purchasing. The average Ibotta user earns $145 a year. That could cover, I don't know, your cable bill. And maybe just sort of put a little bit of extra money. Any bit of extra money you can put in your pocket, that's a good thing. And Ibotta is there to do it for you. Other apps give you points. They don't amount to much. Ibotta just adds your offers in the app, upload your receipt, and you get real cash that you can cash out to your bank account, PayPal, or gift cards. Join the over 50 million savers and earn cash back every time you shop from over 2,700 brands and real retailers, including Lowe's, Macy's, Sephora, Best Buy, and more. Right now, Locked On is offering our listeners $5 just for trying Ibotta by using the code LOCKEDONMLB when you register. Just go to the App Store or Google Play and download the free Ibotta app to start earning cash back, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB. That's IBOTTA in Google Play or the App Store. And use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. It's a big time to be making bets. It's a big time to be going and trying to see if you're going to make any money during March Madness. Well, you know what? You can say goodbye to busted brackets because FanDuel lets you bet on every game of the tournament. Whether you're betting on a big upset or a one seed going all the way, it's time to go dancing on America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's $200 to use on point spreads, money lines. You can even pick who's going to win it all. Just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and bet on college hoops until they cut down the net. FanDuel, it is America's #1 sportsbook. Hey, the season has officially kind of sort of begun. However, we still need to preview it. Now, you know that Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel, Locked On Sports Today. Baseball fans, mark your calendars. Today, March 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, you get the MLB season preview you've been waiting for exclusively on Locked On Sports Today. On March 20th, that's today, 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, be the first to get local insight from MLB local experts on the Locked On Podcast Network. Find it on March 20th, today, 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Not sure what the time will be in Seoul. On Locked On Sports Today, 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, or on the free Amazon Fire TV channels app. I wish they would have a big season opener, but they don't. And there's still plenty of pitchers available. Lots of other teams are out there looking to put together a pitching staff. And George, I love it. There was a thing going on that I saw. I think it was on MLB Trade Rumors that said the pitching market might be heating up. Well, seeing that games have started, at least let's turn on the stove. Jordan Montgomery and Michael Lorenzen, all you got to do is make an offer at this point. I mean, if the train is leaving, and at some point you have to say, hey, I know you're not getting the deal you wanted. I know Jordan Montgomery wanted like a 6, 7 year deal. I know that I'm sure Lorenzen wanted a 2 or 3 year deal. Hell, Snell wanted, a 9 figure deal. I'd like a 9 figure deal, but I haven't won multiple Cy Young awards. And um, you know, at some point you got to just say, I got to get on the train. Two things kind of hit me. First of all, I may embroider this on a pillow. This is a good way to live life. If someone offers you over $100 million, take it. Take it. Blake Snell, who signed it, what was it, 2 year, 62, 63 million. I'm doing some of this off the top of my head, and it's still early. He signed a 2 year, 60 some odd $1 million contract. He wanted a 9 figure deal. And as a 2 time Cy Young Award winner, he thought, like, I'm entitled to 9 figures. A lot of other people getting 9 figures. Why can't I get my 9 figures with my 2 Cy Young Awards? He was offered that. The Yankees, remember, they offered him 155 million tomatoes. And he said, I think there's more out there. I think there's more out there. Turns out there wasn't. He played, and look, I understand Scott Boras in the past has been the master at this sort of negotiation and playing this person off of that and that person off of this. However, it's tough to look yourself in the eye and say, geez, I got the offer for 100 some odd million, and I'm the one who said no to it. It's a weird market. And if he looked up and said, I managed to turn a pretty good career with 2 intensely high peaks into a 9 figure contract. Yeah, Sully, after taxes and everything, it's only going to be like 60, 70 million. Fine. He can use Ibotta to clip coupons and make it through life with only 60 some odd $1 million after taxes and fees. When someone offers you 100 some odd million, take it. Because you don't know when you're going to get it. That's one of the reasons why I have absolutely no problem when you see a team offer a player who's like like in the minor league or only played a handful of games. They offer him like a $10 million contract, and people say, like, well, wait a minute, that's going to be way, way below market value if he projects to the player he thinks he's going to be. That's true. Or he could bust. And if you're dangling several $1 million in front of someone and said, we're going to buy out your entire prime, it may turn out that you will be better than this and we'll get a bargain. Or it may turn out that you could be Matt Laporta. No offense, Matt Laporta. You made it to the major leagues. Everyone makes it to the major leagues as a quality player. But he was supposed to be this great power prospect, to the point that the Cleveland Indians made him the big piece in the CC Sabathia trade. It didn't work out. If you get a player where you say, I'm going to buy out your prime, you're making a bet. You're going to be making more money early. You may make less money later, but you're getting those millions. When someone offers you $100 million, and believe me, I've walked away from $100 million contracts before. I am a public school teacher. Remember, that's where that Blake Snell should probably come to the Pasadena Unified School District. However, at some point, you have to look up and say, why didn't I get the $100 million offer? You did. Here's the other thing. Because you get the draft pick is assigned to it if they offer you the qualifying offer, I'm wondering if more players should just accept the qualifying offer. I know some of the machinations of that has changed since the last collective bargaining agreement. But if they offer you that and go like, geez, this is going to put a noose around me when I go out to free agency, but they can't offer me it again the second time, screw it. I'll sign on. I'll give you one more terrific year and then ride off into the sunset potentially the next year. Probably would have given a lot of these players a lot less of a headache. I still think the Baltimore Orioles should sign Jordan Montgomery. Actually, I think a bunch of teams should sign Jordan Montgomery. I still think every Central team should just go on a shopping spree. It could be like supermarket sweep, running around putting things into the basket, and to say, hey, we're just going to improve our team because 85 wins is going to win the division. Well, let's pile up some extra wins right now, cheaper than we can ever have, and offer a low ball offer. But hey, this is what the market value has. Or maybe, just maybe, baseball should look in a totally different direction. Today is the anniversary of an event that kind of, sort of is making me think that, is this how baseball should be handling it? Should they be thinking a tiny bit differently? Is TV confusing for you? It used to be easy. You had the channels, then you had cable. Now you have a million services. It's time to make TV easy again. It's time for Fire TV. It is your destination for sports, from live games to highlights to in-depth analysis. Fire TV offers amazing viewing experiences with smart TV, as well as the Fire TV stick that you can plug into your existing TV. Get access to millions of movies, TV episodes, as well as free and live television. Whether it's the college basketball tournament or Big League Baseball starting up, you're going to want to have a Fire TV. And Fire TV has Fire TV channels. Check out the latest videos from your favorite sports brands for free. Locked On episodes like this show are on there, and so are many pro leagues and major conferences as well. Check out great sports, news, gaming, travel, cooking, and entertainment content. Check out Fire TV channels on Fire TV and Alexa devices. Learn more at amazon.com/LockedOnFireTV. And a reminder that Locked On has begun the first ever national sports streaming channel on YouTube, and now it's available on the Amazon Fire TV and the free Fire TV's channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today now available on the free Fire TV app. This is the anniversary of someone named Babe Didrikson, who pitched the first inning of a game with the Philadelphia Athletics in 1934 spring training game against the Brooklyn Dodgers. Went and pitched one inning, one walk, no hits. The reason why that's significant that Babe Didrikson did that isn't necessarily that the pitcher threw tremendously well, but it was a woman. And she did not pitch particularly well the second time out, and that was one of the last times, only the second time that a woman played an exhibition with a major league team. In 1922, Lizzie Murphy played in an AL All-Star game in August in an exhibition. But I've been often thinking about this. And, the TV show Pitch came out a few years ago, was about this. And we're seeing more and more arms going into rehab because the arm isn't meant to throw the ball 100 miles an hour and while throwing sliders. And no matter how well you take care of it, that's just not, evolution hasn't caught up with that particular type of pitching. I talked the other day about how we need to institute the knuckleball, which doesn't wear down the arm as much, is much more unpredictable, and you're going to be able to go deeper into games. And maybe we start to develop pitchers who are women. I mean, like immediately when I was working, coaching stuff at the in my son's little league, immediately you're a girl, go to softball, boy, go to baseball. Immediately you go there's separate routes. And I'm not going to get into the politics of gender in sports. That's not what this is. I don't know enough about it. People are much smarter than me. But if you had someone who pitched well off speed pitches, and maybe not bringing it up as fast as the boys do, but with breaking balls and knuckleballs and junk balls, basically there's got to be a girl out there who's the next Jamie Moyer who could come out there and maybe throw a bunch of innings. I mean, maybe we should start developing that from Little League. I remember my dad, the greatest Little League coach of all time. We always lost, but he managed to play everyone. There was a girl named Andrea Chopek who was in our school, and she didn't want to play softball. She wanted to play Little League baseball. And she approached my dad, said, "Can I be on your team?" And my dad got pushback from the little league saying like girls aren't supposed to be on the team. And my dad said, "Is there a rule about that?" And they're like, well, rah, 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 rah. I think verbatim that's what they said. And if you look at our team picture, Andrea's on our team. There she was. Maybe we should start from there. Start from that point. There are terrific softball pitchers out there. Well, maybe have someone throwing hardball. Maybe there's a whole population we haven't tapped into and a whole mindset. Every scout going, throws 110, must be good. Geez, I don't understand why his arm didn't go through. If there is intelligent design, none of them said, yeah, let's design an arm to throw a 100-mile-an-hour slider. It's worth thinking about. Let's go to who's did anyone write some comments right now. Brian Jones says Babe Dickerson Museum is in Beaumont is rad. My dad took me there a bunch of times on the way to Houston. Yeah, how could it be worse than the Cy Young Award winner not getting a big offer and everyone's arm falling off? All right. And then DJ Dan says, I made my future bets on baseball over a month ago. Had to get the best odds possible. I don't know how to bet. Unless I use FanDuel, which I understand is America's #1 sports book. Oh, hey, by the way, the In Memoriam video I dropped the other day, I'm very proud of it. And naturally, the first person who wrote to me about it was about a typo. I said, the typo. Do you understand how many times I proofread this thing? How many times I made sure I had the correct accent on Willie Hernandez? And by the way, I had it be Guillermo Willie Hernandez because he preferred to be called Guillermo, but in the sound clip, Mel Allen called him Willie. I made sure the correct accent was on there. Do you know that they're like Vic Davalio? I had to make sure the right number of L's and everything like that. Ed Broussard, is that a D? Is it an N? Jimmy Williams, only one M? No idea why I did that. I proofread it right to the T. I said, what did I get wrong? Career. John Lennon, which one was it? The last one I did. I said 12-year career, and I spelled career wrong. I was so concentrated on all the different names, I spelled career wrong. And I toyed with the idea, oh, God, I got to take down the link. I got to change that. I got to put that back up. I got to frantically write all the people I said to do, don't use that clip because I spelled career wrong. And then I realized, no, I'm going to keep it. It's an Easter egg. If the thing about that video that I worked my butt off for, if the thing about it is that I spelled career wrong, if that derailed your enjoyment of the video, I can't help you. I really can't. I spelled Davalio right. I spelled Jimmy Williams wrong because that's what he wants. So, yeah, there you go. Better luck next year. I spelled career wrong. So sue me. For about 2 seconds, you're going to have the agony that I had an extra R and not enough E's in career. And career is one of those words that spelled incorrectly looks right. It's like rhythm. Never looks like it's correctly spelled. I have no clue how to spell Burley from Mark Burley. Is it Euhre or is it White? Every time I spell Burley, and when he was great pitching for Chicago all those years, and I was writing my blog about Burley, I had to look up his name every time. And right now, if you put $10 million in front of me and said spell Burley correctly, chances are you're going to have to bring that money back because I'm not getting it. Once again, I turned down the millions. So there you go. You're going to have to live with Burley, or you have to live with a career being spelled incorrectly on the video. I hope you can get through the day. I'm going to have to get through it. In the past, I've made some egregious mistakes, and I can't just correct it. I have to go back and make a whole new video. I have to go back and change that, take down the video and upload it. And I can't use the same link because YouTube doesn't let you switch links out. I would have to tell everyone, don't click on that link, click on this link because career is spelled right on this one. I apologize to everyone to live through the agony of me spelling career wrong on that video. And my humblest apologies. I'll do better next time. The trivia question, pitchers taking big free agent contracts. The original big free agent pitcher was Catfish Hunter. Catfish Hunter, who, by the way, is right there on my wall back there, became a free agent after the 1974 World Series due to a bizarre contract glitch that made him basically the pioneer of free agency. And he went on to sign with the Yankees and help lead them back to the World Series. But the Yankees weren't the top bid. What team offered Catfish Hunter the most money when he went into free agency after the 1974 World Series? And it wasn't the A's, and it wasn't the Yankees. It was one of the other ones. Put that down there in YouTube or Twitter or whatever it's called now. I'm going to go off to my job, which is my career, 2E's. So you can follow us at Locked On MLB Pods on Twitter and Instagram. I'm your pal Sully. I'm at Sully Baseball on Twitter, Sully Baseball Podcast on Instagram. Waking up and giving you another podcast. This has been the first of the regular season, technically. This has been Locked On MLB. I am your host, Paul Francis Sullivan. Please call me Sully.